Hi, this is Sandy, and I'm here to work on the cover for my Western junk journal that I'm making. And I'm going to set this aside because that's part of the cover. I took a file folder and I've cut it down so that it's 8 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. And I think that spine is 1 1/4 inches. And so that's going to be the base for my cover. And then I've got some Amazon packaging, and I'm putting the printed side against the cover, and then it'll just be brown. I thought that would be a great cover for a Western journal. And I have put some double-sided tape on it, and I'm going to take it off and put this together. I'm using my pokey tool to get the double edge of the double-sided tape. That just seems to work better for me than trying to get it with my fingernails. I can spend a lot of time trying to get it up, and this pokey tool just seems to catch the edge of it pretty easy. And I can peel it right up. Okay, I'm gonna burnish that a little bit. That's a cheaper roll of tape that I had bought a while back, and I'm trying to use it up. There we go. Now, let's stick this down on here. Press it down. And then I'm gonna make sure that I've got good creases there for my journal, for the spine. Okay, now I have this tool that I got for making mini albums, if I can get it out, and it helps you make corners when you're going to make a mini album, and I think that'll work perfectly for this too. So I'm just going to take a pen and mark where that corner is. Well, grab a pencil. Mark where that corner is going to be on each of these. If you cut too close to the corner, then you don't end up with a good solid corner. But you also don't want a lot of extra bulk right there on your corner either. So going to take my scissors and cut those spots. Okay, and I'm going to bend each of those up before I put the tape on them, because that'll make it easier later when I roll it over. And I put the tape on it. grab some tape. And this is something I also learned with making mini albums, is I put one strip along this edge, and another strip along the edge of the paper. And then that works really well for holding it down. You've made sure that you've caught this edge, but you've also done a nice edge next to the where you folded it over. So I'm going to do that on all four sides. Okay, I feel like I'm having a hard time keeping it in the screen. Let's see if I can lift up the camera a little bit. We're having a nice sunshiny day here today, which is awesome. I can look out my window and see bird feeders. And today there's a squirrel out there trying to eat the sunflower seeds. So I'm not seeing a lot of birds. But the little squirrel is having a fun time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this side before I finish up these two ends. I do like doing the opposite sides together. And since I put this down, I'm going to go ahead and lift that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this side up, and then I'll finish putting tape on the other end. Okay, I think you can see that makes some fairly nice corners on it. I get this double-sided tape off of Amazon, but I know there are a number of places that you can order it from. I just find Amazon is fairly quick in getting stuff to me, and because I pay for Prime, I don't have to pay for shipping, which over time can save a bunch of money. Okay. Okay, now I have debated on whether I wanted to put another piece of paper on the inside just to cover that, or to leave it the manila folder. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on. So instead of covering the whole thing like I did the other one, I'm going to put a little bit of tape on it and use some wet glue. The wet glue gives me the opportunity to wiggle it around a little bit if I want to. Otherwise, the double-sided tape will stick wherever you first touch, and that isn't always where I want it to be. Sometimes if you don't get it lined up great, you want to be able to wiggle it just a little bit. Okay, I think I cut it so that I got a little bit of space on each side. Okay, I think it looks a little bit like a leather journal, if you use your imagination a little bit, I guess. It's a lot cheaper than a leather journal would be. And I'm using items that could have gone in the trash with this packaging. Okay, let's just lay it down like that. Okay, that spine's being a little fussy with me, but it will be pretty much covered up by the signatures, so I don't think that it will show that much. And it's an old Western journal, so it doesn't have to be pristine. It can. Okay. All right, now I was thinking about, for decorating the cover, I had this out of the ephemera book that I had bought, had this scene, and I thought it was pretty, the old western town. And then on the front cover of the ephemera book I got, it had this word, old, well, this phrase, Old Wild West. So I fussy cut it out and thought that might be kind of fun on the front of the journal. So I'm going to ink up the sides of this because you'll want it to look kind of rustic. Well, I want it to look kind of rustic. And somehow inking it up just kind of gives it more that worn look, I think. So I have walnut stain here that I'm using along the edge. From the Distress Inks line. There are a number of different Distress inks that you can use for doing this type of thing, but I found I just really like the looks of the walnut stain. I've tried some of the others, Tea Dye and Vintage Photo, but I come back to the walnut stain. I just like the looks of it on the edge, the shade. I rounded the corners on this piece because I just decided I like that look better than the square corners. Okay. I like that. In the book, it has the same image on the back. It's kind of funny to turn it over and see the image. So I'll try to get it somewhat lined up. Go on there. And then I'm going to glue down these letters. Old. This title is, again, you know, using the cover of the book that I bought off of Amazon that had different Western themed pages and ephemera in it. And I've been fussy cutting like crazy. But I'm recycling the cover by cutting this title out of it. I think I got an edge there trying to stick up. Okay, now, I'd originally gotten this piece of lace out. Okay, but I'm not sure that I want to put it on there. So I think I may wait till I put the signatures in and then cover the spine with that piece of lace. I recently got some of the ivory and the white off of Amazon because I had used the lace I had, and I thought for the older look the ivory would go really well. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do today. I've got the cover ready. Now I just need to put together the pages for the signatures and sew those in. So I will be back on another day with the pages, and I will sew them in case you're not sure how to put signatures into a junk journal. I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch And that's one of the ways. There are many ways you can put signatures in, but it's the one I tend to go to most of the time. So thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it very much. Please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed.